Saint Petersburg at night. Light snow falls on a deserted square as antique street lamps cast a dim yellow glow. The majestic statue of Alexander Pushkin stands in the square, a thin layer of snow dusting the poet's shoulders. The camera performs a match cut through the ground, descending into the dark earth before brightening into a grand hall. Pushkinskaya station appears like a royal palace, with rows of pure white marble columns and high ceilings. A close-up of brilliant crystal chandeliers hanging from the ceiling, reflecting sparkling light onto the polished stone floor. Black bronze-cast street lamps line the walkways, recreating the atmosphere of 19th century streets. At the end of the hall, a bronze statue of Pushkin sits quietly in front of a landscape mural of the Tsarskoye Selo Gardens. An old train from the 1950s pulls to a stop. Passengers step out amidst the echoing sounds of the station. The space feels less like a train station and more like a royal ballroom for the aristocracy of old. The secret behind this beauty is a technical disaster: groundwater and violent quicksand during construction. Pushkinskaya was once a ghost station, left abandoned in the dark for months because the exit could not be completed. The quicksand incident nearly collapsed the historic Vitebsky railway station located directly above it. Soviet engineers had to use ground freezing techniques to save the project and complete the station in 1956. Now, Pushkinskaya stands firm like a poem carved in marble, honoring Russia's great national poet. A classic map of central St. Petersburg appears, focusing on the Vitebsky station area and the underground location of Pushkinskaya station. The magnificent beauty of Vitebsky station is revealed, the first railway station of the Russian Empire, featuring its signature Art Nouveau architecture. Inside Vitebsky station, curved steel columns and light pouring down from the soaring glass roof evoke an aristocratic atmosphere. The sound of a steam train whistle echoes as a vintage train departs from the Vitebsky platform, heading south. This railway leads directly to Tsarskoye Selo, a place closely associated with Pushkin's teenage years. A close-up of the prestigious Lyceum, where the empire's elite were trained, featuring large windows overlooking the gardens. The image of a teenage Alexander Pushkin in his Lyceum uniform, deeply absorbed in writing his first lines of poetry. Manuscripts filled with scribbles and illustrations by Pushkin, symbolizing the height of Russian literature. Transitioning to the 1950s, architects Leonid Polyakov and Vasily Petrov are seen discussing metro station design blueprints. A detailed blueprint of Pushkinskaya station appears, focusing not on industrial machinery but on classical artistic motifs. They were determined to turn this place into an underground temple for art, separated from the noisy industrial world above. The station was designed with a pylon structure, a robust engineering solution at a depth of 57 meters underground. Archival footage shows metro workers operating in harsh conditions, surrounded by layers of clay and immense water pressure. A giant tunnel boring machine slowly advances, facing the complex geology of the Saint Petersburg marshland. The wrath of the earth. Groundwater begins to leak through the gaps, creating a life and death struggle with nature. Yet, rising above that suffocating pressure, the form of a magnificent hall gradually emerges from the darkness. Rows of white marble columns and brilliant crystal chandeliers begin to be installed, carrying the soul of the Golden Age. The station is more than just a stop. It is a greeting from the past, bringing passengers back to the world of Pushkin's poetry. On November 15, 1955, a joyful atmosphere filled Leningrad on the inauguration day of the first metro line. Tens of thousands of people flocked underground to admire magnificent subterranean palaces like Avtovo and Kirovsky Zavod. But as the train approached Pushkinskaya station, a strange atmosphere began to take hold. The train did not stop. Through the windows, passengers saw only a dark, silent hall like a ghost station. The truth lay in a disaster that occurred months earlier, an encounter with Pliven, the deadly quicksand. While workers were digging the escalator tunnel, the immense pressure of mud and water burst through the partitions. The destructive power of the mud flow not only threatened the tunnel, but also directly endangered the Vitebsky station above. Ground subsidence caused the walls of this historic station to start cracking, signaling a horrific collapse. Soviet engineers had to make a life-and-death decision: use liquid nitrogen to freeze the ground. They pumped huge amounts of liquid nitrogen into boreholes, creating a solid wall of ice to block the quicksand. For months, the construction site turned into a giant ice cellar. All artistic decoration work had to be suspended. Pushkinskaya was forced to remain closed on the line's inauguration day, becoming a major mystery to the public. It took 5 more months of relentless battle against nature for the tunnel to be safely reinforced. On April 30th, 1956, the ghost station finally came to life, ready to welcome its first passengers. The station was named after the great poet Alexander Pushkin, with a majestic statue of him standing at the end of the hall. The first footsteps echoed on the granite floor, concluding a dramatic chapter in construction history. The Quicksand Disaster was defeated by the wisdom and perseverance of the Soviet engineers of that era. Today, Pushkinskaya still stands firm as a testament to the struggle between man and nature. The cracks at Vitebsky station have been repaired, but the story of the past disaster is still passed down. The mystery of the ghost station has been solved, leaving behind pride in a structure that overcame adversity. The ground freezing technique later became a standard for many complex underground projects worldwide. The miners of the past, the silent heroes in the depths of Leningrad. At the foot of Pushkin's statue, fresh flowers are often placed to commemorate the poet and the builders alike. A triumph of courage and science during those difficult years. The Saint Petersburg Metro, not just a means of transport, but a living historical monument. Brilliant light returns to the soaring stone arches of Pushkinskaya station, revealing a magnificent space. The camera glides slowly past rows of white marble columns, creating a sense of grandeur and majesty. At a depth of 57 meters underground, this space defies the rigors of time and geology. It emerges like a perfect mirage of a 19th century Russian aristocratic mansion. The floor is paved with dark red granite slabs, offering durability and elegant beauty. Interwoven black and white stone strips form carpet-like patterns commonly seen in royal palaces. Along the corridors, Coelga white marble pillars stand majestic and radiant. The stone surfaces are polished, smooth, reflecting light from the chandeliers as soft as white silk. The contrast is evident in the Vitebsky black marble base, which is sturdy and powerful. This structure creates a harmonious architectural rhythm, deeply imbued with an air of solemnity. The soul of the station lies in its elaborately designed lighting system made of bronze and crystal. Gilded brass chandeliers glow radiantly, reminiscent of royal court balls. In the corridors leading to the platforms, the absence of ceiling lights creates an intentional pause. Instead, floor lamps cast from black metal become the unique highlight of this place. They feature the design of Saint Petersburg gas street lamps that illuminated Pushkin's era. Light from these lamps guides the passengers, creating a romantic sense of nostalgia. The combination of crystal and gemstones makes passengers feel as if they are stepping into a ball, where poetry and music are interwoven into every stone, eternally honoring the great national poet. All the splendor of the hall is merely a path leading you to the true heart of this station. The first complete memorial ever built underground in the history of the Soviet Union. At the far end of the station hall, you will see a bronze statue of the great poet Alexander Pushkin sitting in repose. This work was sculpted by Mikhail Anikushin, one of Russia's greatest masters of sculpture. Unlike other great figures who are often shown standing tall, Pushkin is depicted here, sitting relaxedly on a rock. He sits there, head slightly bowed, with a dreamy gaze as if immersed in the flow of his verses. But the statue would not be complete without the giant oil painting by Maria Engulk behind it. The painting depicts a corner of the park at Tsarskoye Selo with shaded canopies and a tranquil lake. The masterful use of perspective creates an optical illusion, breaking through the oppressive stone walls at a depth of 57 meters. The statue and painting blend into one, creating a 3D scene. The poet appears to be truly sitting in the garden of old. To this day, the people of Saint Petersburg still maintain a peculiar habit, placing fresh flowers at the foot of the statue. Sprigs of red carnations and rosebuds are quietly laid there, as a silent greeting to their great poet. Pushkinskaya is a testament to the fact that, even amidst technical austerity, the Russian people still build shrines to beauty. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to click subscribe so you don't miss our upcoming journeys. How do you feel about placing a statue of a poet in the middle of a metro station? Let us know in the comments. Goodbye, and see you on our next journeys into the past. Have a wonderful day.